To understand the people, connect and lead, the primacy of personality plays a vital role. Especially if you want to start with, as a leader, you should have a system with a psychologically significant mark. That significant mark, the different style must be exhibited by the leader. In puzzling over whether it is better to be feared or loved as a leader, Machiavelli famously said that because it is impossible to do both leaders, better leaders should opt for fear. And research shows, arguing that leaders would do much better to begin with love, to begin with warmth. So it is better to establish trust through warmth and understanding. Most leaders today approach their jobs by emphasizing competence, strength, and credentials. But without first building a foundation of trust, they run the risk of eliciting fear, resentment, or envy. Beginning with warmth allows trust to develop, facilitating both the exchange and the acceptance of idea. In running an organization, it is always very important getting and facilitating both the exchange and acceptance of the ideas. People really hear your message and become open to it when you start with love, warmth. Cultivating warmth and trust also boosts the quantity and quality of novel ideas that are produced. The best way to gain influence is to combine warmth and strength. Several leaders feel that exhibiting their strength and power, they can attract the people. To the best of my knowledge, it is not a clear cut solution for every situation. So it is always better to have, first of all, have a foundation to gain influence, to combine with warmth and strength, as difficult as Machiavelli said that it may be to do. In this context, we look at various disciplines of practical tactics, leaders hoping to project a healthy amount of balancing both the qualities, taking the foundation and guidance from behavioral sciences, especially social psychology, the behavior of a person as a group, in a group, and especially in an organization. Then we will have a fundamental discussion, that is it better to be loved or feared? Machiavelli pondered the timeless conundrum 500 years ago and hedged his bets. He says it may be answered that one should wish to be both. He acknowledged, but because it is difficult to unite them in one person, it is much safer to be feared than loved. Now, lot of fundamental research in behavioral science and behavior of a human being in an organization is weighing in with showing that Machiavelli is only partly right. When we judge others, especially our leaders, we look first at two characteristics: how lovable they are, their warmth, communion, or trustworthiness, and how fearsome they are, that is, their strength, agency, or competence. At times, the competency of the leader, if a leader is highly competent, it can give an aura for that leader to bring in harmony while leading the people and connecting to the people. Although there is some disagreement about the proper labels for these traits, researchers agree that there are the two primary dimensions of social judgment. And let us see why are these traits so important. Because they answer two critical questions. What are this person's intentions toward me? Is he or she capable of acting on those intentions? Several people say that shows the people judge it to be competent but lacking in warmth often elicit envy in others. an emotion involving both respect and resentment that cuts both the ways. When we respect someone, we want to cooperate or affiliate ourselves with him or her. But resentment can make that a person vulnerable to harsh reprisal, thinking of disgraced. So, on the other hand, people judged as warm but incompetent tend to elicit pity, which is also invokes a mix of emotions. Compassion moves us to help those we pity, but our lack of respect leads to us ultimately to neglect them because we think of people become marginalized as they near retirement of an employee with outmoded skills in a rapidly evolving industry. So, skills upgrading and a leader always having an idea about the contemporary changes and responding for the future. Responding present for the future will have an edge over these two qualities. To be sure, we notice plenty of other traits in people, but they are nowhere near as influential as warmth and strength. Indeed, insights from the field of psychology show that these two dimensions, on account of more than 90% of the variance in our positive or negative impressions we form for the people around us. So, which is better, being lovable or being strong? Most leaders today tend to emphasize their strength, competence, and credentials in the workplace. But this is exactly the wrong approach. Leaders who project strength before establishing trust run the risk of eliciting fear and, along with it, a host of dysfunctional behaviors. Fear can undermine cognitive potential, creativity, and problem solving and cause employees to get stuck when even disengaged. It is a hot emotion, the long lasting effects, it burns into our memory in a way that cooler emotions do not. So, several eminent people in a study of this particular branch of knowledge, they have pointed out leadership effectiveness, in other words, the chances that a manager who is strongly disliked will be considered as a good leader are only about very few because without the fundamental trait of this lovability, communication, and creating an atmosphere of warmth, a leader cannot sustain for a long only with the power and strength. A growing body of research suggests the way to influence and to lead is to begin with warmth. Warmth is the conduit of influence. It facilitates trust and the communication and absorption of ideas. Even a few small non-verbal signals, a nod, a smile, an open gesture can show people that you are pleased to be in their company and attentive to their concerns. Prioritizing warmth helps you connect immediately with those around you, demonstrating that you hear them, understand them, and can be trusted by them. When strength comes first, most of us work hard to demonstrate our competence. We want to see ourselves as strong and want others to see the same way. We focus on warding off challenges to our strength and providing abundant evidence of competence. We feel compelled to demonstrate that we are up to the job. By striving the present, the most innovative ideas in meetings, being the first to tackle a challenge and working the longest hours. We are sure of our own intentions and thus don't feel the need to prove that we are trustworthy, despite the fact that evidence of trustworthiness is the first thing we look for in others. Organizational psychologists and very eminent people in this field, they say that in one experiment, when asked to choose between training programs focusing on competence related skills and support, most participants opted for competence based training for themselves but soft skills training for others. Employees can become reluctant to help others because they are unsure of whether their efforts will be reciprocated or recognized. This result, shared organizational resources fall victim to the tragedy of the commons. When warmth comes first, and so I repeat, when warmth comes first, when a leader creates warmth in and around him and the people with whom he is working, although most of us strive to demonstrate our strength, warmth contributes significantly more to others' evaluations of us and it is judged before competence. Several social psychologists say that cognitive and neural mechanisms that drive our spontaneous trait inferences. Once again, I use the word spontaneous trait inferences, the snap judgments we make when briefly looking at faces. The research also show making those judgments, people consistently pick up on warmth faster than competence. This preference for warmth holds true in other areas as well. In a study led by several universities, it is proved significantly that warmth is faster than competence related ones, such as skillful and other abilities. So it is essentially to prove and it is essentially that a leader must have the trait of creating a warmth and trustworthiness. In management settings, trust increases information sharing, openness, fluidity, and cooperation. If co-workers can be trusted to do the right thing and live up to their commitments, planning, coordination, and execution are much easier. Trust also facilitates the exchange and acceptance of ideas. It also allows people to hear other message and boosts the quantity and quality of the ideas that are produced within organization. Most important, trust provides the opportunity to change people's attitudes and beliefs. I repeat this sentence. Most important, trust provides the opportunity to change people's attitude and beliefs, not just their outward behavior. That is the sweet spot when it comes to influence and the ability to get people to fully accept your message. The essential trait and the essential pursuit of a leader must be to see that the people working around him fully accept his message and influence the ability of the people in order to gain primacy for the organization. Thank you.